right, thanks for staying with us. All is now set for the maiden edition of the Nigerian Football Federation Award scheduled to hold today. It is the first time that the nation's football governing body, the NFF, is organizing an award ceremony to reward the major actors in the country's football. Gongs will be presented to winners in Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, Young Player of the Year, Team of the Season, Fair Play Award, Goal of the Season, Fans of the Season, NFF Development Award, and Platinum Award categories. NFF Vice President Sheyi Akinwumi said he was conceived to correct what has been missing. Well, Nigeria will not feature for the first time in the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup after they lost on a way goes through to Cameroon in Yaoundé. Cameroon were forced to a 1-1 draw by their Nigerian counterpart in the return leg after the first game ended 2-2 in Benin. Nigeria have featured in all 5 Under-17 Women's World Cups since the inaugural edition in 2008. Alice Kameni gave the home team a 16th-minute lead before substitute Martha Vincent drew the Flamingos level 8 minutes from time. This year's tournament will be staged in Uruguay, thus in November. And Roger Federer marked his return to the top of the world rankings by sweeping aside a second seed Grigor Dimitrov in the Rotterdam Open final. The 20-time Grand Slam champion, who is today confirmed as world number 1, beat world number 5 Dimitrov 6-2, 6-2 for his 97th title. The Bulgarian was broken in the 5th game, then on 3 more occasions, as Federer won comfortably in 55 minutes. The Swiss master is now 12 titles short of Jimmy Connor's haul of 109.
It's been unbelievable. I can't believe it. I got my 97th title, back to world number 1 after all these years. It's definitely one of those weeks I will never forget in my life, so very, very special.
And tell us about the match today, 6-2, 6-2. Were you expecting it to be that straightforward?
No, of course not. I was expecting it to be tough and, of course, you know, be in trouble, to be quite honest, because Grigor's a great player, great athlete, you know, and he's been playing super well in recent months. So I thought this was not going to be the result, but I think he struggled a little bit at some point in that first set already. But honestly, I never looked back. I played great, felt the best by far this week.
All right, sports journalist Shayo Olabi joins me in the studio this morning. Hello, Shayo.
Morning, Mayo.
Well, let's begin with the NFF inaugural awards. Why has it taken this long for them to, to get one on the way?
First of all, we know that in Nigeria, each regime or each tenure comes with its own vision and its own dreams. So the question is, how long will this continue after this particular board has left office? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. It's happening now, it's good, maybe late, because we know that a few private awards have sprung up. Say, for example, the Peach Awards, which the NFF threw its weight behind, and supported for about 2-3 editions that it's been held now. So we're asking, why didn't you just adopt that? That's the way I say things, rather than duplicate it. Especially as you're just the governing body, they would have more time to, do everything. But then we know ITO has got a lot to throw around for Nigerian football. And the NFF coming up with this initiative, like I said, at this time, late, but it's good to have it. And let's see how far they go with it.
All right, athletes, we now have some nominees for today's awards. For the Young Player of the Year, you've got FC Zurich forward Stephen Ode, Ikowem Udo, and Nur Mohammed, 2 African Nations Championship silver medal winners. And for the Women's Player of the Year,
why should they? It should be unopposed.
You have Asisat Oshoala, Francisca Odega, and Ibom Angels forward Charity Ruben.
Well, like I said, unopposed.
Unopposed.
And, for the young player, I think Stephen Ode showed a lot of stuff in the Nigeria Professional Football League with MFM before he moved on to Switzerland. So I'll hand it to Stephen Ode, really.
Okay, all right, Stephen Ode. Really, let's move to the Flamingos. Really disappointing result out there in Cameroon, but it was expected after that 2-2 draw in the first leg. This is the first time it's happening since 2008 that Nigeria will not be participating at the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. What went wrong in Yaoundé for the girls?
What has always gone wrong? It's neglect. It's us being overconfident, as the case may be. And let's not forget, before this round, they actually had won on away goal rules also to get to this round. So that had sent a warning signal to the NFF, but no one took it because the focus has always been the Super Eagles, and that's exactly what has happened. Let's not forget that the male team, the under-17 and the under-20, didn't qualify for their own Nations Cup tournament also last year, and that's what the trend we're beginning to see with the women's football. This is where we dominate so much, and we're beginning to lose it.
But does this represent a new low for female football in the country, considering how dominant Nigeria has been on the continent?
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's a new trend, and it's one that may continue except we stem the tide by giving more attention to women's football and, of course, to developmental football, be it male, be it female. It's about time, really, and the NFF board really needs to get that right. It can't be all about the Super Eagles or, in part, the Super Falcons. We need to develop. How do we churn in talents into the Super Falcons if we don't breed them from the under-17 or under-20 level?
All right, enough said on that. There were matches in the Nigerian Professional Football League over the weekend. Match day 9 results really. The pick of the pack is Kano Pillars 1-1 against Enyimba. Academy Warriors defeated Goran 2-1. Abia Warriors 3-1 against Yobe Desert Stars. Rivers United 2-0 winners against Niger Tornadoes. Nasarawa United 3-all draw against Kwara United. Katsina United 3-0 against FC Fanyuba. Heartland 2-1 over Wiki Tories. And earlier on, was it on Saturday, we saw MFMFC on Friday defeat Plateau United champions, right?
Aqua United.
Aqua United. Yes. Leaders, I beg your pardon. Aqua United, they are not champions yet. All right. With the way things stand at the moment, Kano Pillars are now level on points with Aqua United, who have a game in hand. It seems this season's title will be more interesting than last year's.
Yes, but before we go into the analysis of that, let's talk about the death of Chinedu Udoji. He actually died yesterday in Kano after he went to visit. You know, he plays for Kano Pillars. He went to visit his former teammates at Enyimba after their game, and the unfortunate incident happened. So we actually, wish his family well and the fortitude to bear the loss. But back to the game. I remember we had this analysis about 2-3 weeks back, and I said you can't take out Kano Pillars. And the truth is, Aqua United, Plateau United, and Kano Pillars, for me, are the three that will be there and thereabout at the end of the season. And that's what these games and these performances from this side have actually shown us. Enyimba beginning to prove their mettle also, and maybe we may just add them if we were to talk about the top 4 in the Nigerian Professional Football League.
And what then do you say about the chances of MFMFC maybe not winning the title, but what are their chances of getting back on the continent this season?
It's good to see them back in the top 10, 8th position at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, and that's a good position. That's a good position to build on. We've always talked about the away form. That's all they need to work on going into the mid-season. Let's not forget they have the Continental the CAF Champions League coming up also in between all those games, and that we know will take its toll on the side, which we know is not as boisterous as it should be. But then I think they've shown from the first leg that they can actually manage both sides. Let's see them transform that to a way form in the Nigerian Professional Football League. That way they can guarantee a place back on the continent.
Well, really enough said about MFMFC. You've said it all. Their away form has got to really improve if they want to climb up the table on the Nigerian Professional Football League log. Okay, let's switch focus to this man, Roger Federer. Can we get enough words to describe this man called Roger Federer? He seems to be rewriting history at 36.
It's almost like the curious case of Joseph Button or something, a movie where the guy was Benjamin Button, where the guy was regenerating himself. You know, it's almost like that's what we're saying with Roger Federer. He's 36 and he's playing like he's 16. Because the truth is, I was thinking when he won the majors last year, I was like, oh, that's the end. Let's just go into 2018 and see the emergence of new guys. But we've seen that it looks like he can win everything, maybe except the one on the clay court. He won't bother himself because he knows he doesn't have the strength in there. But of course, the US Open and the Wimbledon, we know he would go into those two Grand Slams and probably wrap it up if the other guys do not show up also.
He was supposed to have passed, his prime, but instead has won 3 of the last 5 slams. And if you consider that he didn't take part in the French Open, that would mean he's won 3 out of the 4 he's participated in and lost out to, who was that in the final of one of the 4 slams. He's back as the world #1, and few will bet against him even winning more.
Exactly. going into a tournament like the Rotterdam Open, those are tournaments he probably would have let go at his age. But now he's racking up points in there to be world #1, one that I think he would hold for a very long time. Fingers crossed, really. I think the slams are up for grabs. Like I said, he won't bother himself with the French Open. He knows the guys who can do the job on the clay court. But when it comes to grass and the hard court, he definitely is one to pride himself for those ones.
Well, let's come realistically to how many more titles he can win. Only Jimmy Connors has more titles than Roger Federer. Jimmy Connors has got 109 titles. Yeah. Federer has 97, but no man has won more slams than this guy. How many more can he win, really?
That's 12 titles. Like I said, Rotterdam Open will probably be one he would have let go. But he has shown that he's probably targeting Connors as it stands. And it's not beyond him, really. With the ease at which he won this particular one against Grigor Dimitrov, 55 minutes, you would have thought that a second seed shouldn't be displaced that easily and that fast. But that happened, and he really seems to be targeting that. And I think a few more slams also under the belt for Roger Federer. All
right, thank you very much indeed, Chayo Olabi, for your time on the Breakfast Show this morning.
Always a pleasure being here, Mayo.
That's our package on sports this morning on the Breakfast Show. I'm Mayowa Ajayi. We hand you over now to Amin Ankos for the rest of the Breakfast Show.
Thank you, Mayowa, for that.
Yes, it did. Well, the CBS family is
we have
bereaved
to do newspaper
right now. Let's do the paper review first before we get into that. This day, I'm trying to just catch my breath right now. Provide better choice of leadership for Nigerians. Babangida tells Buhari there. That's coming from this day newspaper.
Well, we'll go to the Vanguard. Benue killings, continuation of 1804 jihad or Tom.
Daily Sun, killings by Fulani herdsmen. Buhari shunned the invitation to visit Benue. Otom insists there will be no 2019 election in state until.
Well, we'll go to the Nation. Major story here is Catholic bishops confront Buhari over performance. Government tackling challenges, says SGF Mustafa.
And finally, from the Punch, CBN bars banks with huge bad loans from paying dividends. Banks, discount houses with weak capital base also affected. All right, that's another look at the papers this morning. A heartfelt condolence goes out to the family of our dear colleague, Olamiposi Afolabi.
Well, before his death, Olamiposi worked as an audio mixer with TVC News, but passed on last Friday at the age of 35 while recuperating from injuries he sustained in a ghastly motor accident along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway a few weeks back.
Well, he will be fondly remembered by all of us here at TVC News. We can only say may his soul rest in perfect peace. So Olamiposi Afolabi, gone too soon.
Very sad indeed. He was a very active member of the PC and, of course, an active member of our team. Always part of the
absolutely. And the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway really has claimed one too many lives. And maybe it's another opportunity to call on government to do something about that road and every other road in this country.
Absolutely. Thank you for watching. Yes, our hearts are very heavy. We don't even know how to wrap it.
Okay, we'll have to say our goodbyes. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's see you again tomorrow, same time, 7 to 9. My name is Ngozi Alelu.
And I am Azizat Olaoluwa. Thank you for watching and bye for now.